Mr. Chair, you're live.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm calling this session of the Board of Revision to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 41st Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Harvey Diamond. With me today are Doug Marks and Richard Whitbread. The City Assessment Department is represented by Jonathan Spacek, and our administrator is Zachary Moen. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment rules in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision are requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements made at this hearing must be sworn in testimony, and anyone speaking to those matters must be sworn in. Be advised, comparisons of assessments of property is not considered as evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. We make our decision on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and will issue written order for each property that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that our decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or to classification, or else the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to an application for exemption from taxation. And should a party wish to appeal, information to do so will be included with our respect to the hearing process. So I'll confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following their swearing in. We'll then have the assessment testimony followed by questions the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by any questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if you wish to do so. Once all the evidence upon an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The person will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make a decision. You receive the board's decision by written mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will form part of a public record. And today we'll be hearing items 1 and 4 on our docket. And Mr. Moen, you can please affirm the assessor and applicant's testimony at this time.
Of course, Mr. Chair. Mr. Assessor, please state your full name.
Jonathan Spacek.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
Rocky Neufeld.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, our first matter is item number 1, which is, excuse me, 525 Academy Road. And Mr. Spacek, when you're ready, you can proceed.
Yes, thank you. This is file number 24-4149, roll number 1207004100. We have a 2025 assessed value of $1,313,000. I have sent in a workup for this property. I'm asking for a reduction to $1,130,000 today.
Okay. And Mr. Neufeld, first of all, I'll ask you, is that acceptable to you?
Well, we talked about it, and I just have to get approval from the owner. So for today, we'll accept it. And Mr. Spacek very much knows my situation, so he was aware I had to go back and seek approval. So we're good for today.
Okay, Mr. Spacek, if you can just maybe explain how you arrived at that new number.
You'll notice on the workup, some of the rental rates have been changed to more accurately reflect the net rents reported in the property. And then, so it changes the blended rate from 1833 to 1784, and then increase in the cap rate from 5.5 to 6.25%. And that's what causes the value reduction.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Do you have a new NOI?
It should be, yeah. Let me just look at the workup.
We don't have your new workup.
Oh, sorry, I just shared that in the SharePoint for you all.
And the NOI is 70,644.
There it is.
The new cap rate is what?
6.25.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Weber, you've asked all your questions. You're good?
Sorry, I didn't know I was
Oh,
being asked. Yes, I'm fine with that. Thank
that's
you.
great. Yes, Mr. Marks, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, so we have a new cap rate of 6.25 and an NOI of 70,644, and that's based on a change of the rental.
Correct.
All the parameters remain the same. Okay, thank you. I have no further questions either. So that means we're now complete with this item, and we'll go on then to item number 4. Which I have to get to. Okay, here we are. And that's the property that is at 1581 Pembina Highway. And Mr. Spacek, when you're ready, you can proceed.
Thank you. We are looking at file number 24-4164, roll number 03066202000. This is 1581 Pembina Highway. And I'm asking to maintain the 2025 value of 730,000. Again, we have a one-story office located on Pembina at the corner of Chevrier Boulevard and Pembina. Our modeled workup for this property is on page 6. You'll see we have 2 units in the property, 1 story, $21.27 a unit, modeled rent of $14.11. We have a overridden vacancy, 20% that has carried over through the years. From my understanding, the property is fully occupied now by the newer owner, but again, that vacancy carried over, whereas usually it would be 6% for an OFS this cycle. It did have in the past, when it was the old owner, from my understanding, only 1 unit was constantly used. And then so the other half was, so the building was at approximately 50% vacancy for a lot of years. So that's why that 20% is there. But again, currently, from my understanding, it's fully being used. We have 3% expenses, $8 shortfall with a 5.45% capitalization rate. And this works out to a total value of $730,000 for this property. You will see that it is fully owner occupied on page 10, so we've received no information other than the expenses. But if we go to page 5, you will notice I have a list of comparables from across the city. Just tried to find some OFS type properties. We have a rental range from as low as $10 up to $17.95 on the high end, with a range of square footage from 716 on the low up to 11,000 on comparable 7, but for a mean of $14.13 and a median of $13.64. And again, the subject property is at $14.11. If you have any questions on this one, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Neufeld, any questions?
Yeah, very few. Just looking at page 6. So this was all done by the model, but I take it the vacancy was an override.
Yes, at one point years ago, the vacancy was increased year after year, as it was always at 50%. So somebody at some point, this property was adjusted to better represent the vacancy issues, but it either carried over or wasn't checked off,
Yeah,
even though I believe it's would be at 6%.
No, we'll get to that. But everything except the vacancy rate would then come from the model then.
Yes.
Okay, good. And were you aware of this particulars on the sale? Because you have it listed on page 4 that it was a purchase of the business and real estate at the same time.
Yeah, all I checked was an arm's length sale between 2 unknown purchasers. That's what it looked like, $1 million, and that's all I saw in the sale.
Okay. So like you weren't aware that McClenahan absorbed the practice of the former accountant Wheeler.
No, I had no information.
Part of the transaction. Okay, that's fine. I don't think I have any other questions for you. Just wanted to see one thing. It's coded as office. What was it before? Do you know?
The building, I believe, is under OFS as well. I
No,
believe it's
no,
always.
but prior to the accountant moving in.
I believe it was just OFS before the account moved in.
Okay. All
The
right.
difference
Well,
is if you look
that's
on
fine.
page 3, I put a picture of before and after from my
Oh, I
understanding.
meant before 2007, what was originally built at. But if
Oh
you don't,
no, I don't know. I don't know.
okay, that's fine. Thanks. That's all I had to ask you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marks. Any questions?
No questions for me, thank you.
Mr. Whitbread, any questions?
I have none, thank you.
Thank you. And I don't have any either. So, Mr. Neufeld, you can go forward with your evidence.
Just a couple of points on it. Like the valuation that was done up, we came up with an NOI which is quite similar to what the assessor has, and there's no point going through it. Just want to correct some statements made. It is owner occupied, but the southern half has been empty since 2007 when the last owner purchased it. They put some file storage in there, but it's been available for the lease. They've had lots and lots of people look at it. The problem, I think, is obvious. People who want to use it want to put in retail. There are 6 parking stalls in the back. So for office, but I want to make sure I get this right. On page 18 is the parking bylaw. So with the 4254 divided by 750, so 4254 divided by 750, which is the bylaw, requires 5.6 parking stalls, and they have 6. Now retail is under number 20, which is 1 stall for 250 square feet over 2,000. So they would require 2254 divided by 250 is 10 stalls plus 1. So they need 11 stalls. So they can get a retail user in there. That's always been the problem because the retail requires more parking, and that's just the bylaw, but that's just common sense. Retailer needs more parking, office doesn't. I have been in this building, well, I can tell you twice a year, every year since 2007. My accountant and the former accountant was Mabel Wheeler. She sold the business to Mike McClenahan. I kept my business there. So I go in and inspect it twice a year. Let's see, I was last in it when I dropped off my T4 information for this fiscal year. And prior to that, I was in there in October when I dropped off my company year-end material. And plus the addition was built by the former owner's husband, and it was a very amateur job, but it doesn't, it's just not leasable at this point. So I think the 20% is pertinent. And the person who made this up should know, he gets his taxes there done too, but I have to drop his info off, so he doesn't inspect it. Well, essentially, we're just looking for a change in the cap rate, and what we had in here in this report was 8%. I think that the assessment department has been fair in allowing the greater vacancy rate, and you can't double dip and go with 10 different, or look for, you want to have a low rent, you want a high vacancy, you want a high cap. You can't have them all. So I don't think 5.4 is right, but I think they got they were very fair with this property, and I think the cap should be a point higher at 6.5. That's not even a real cap, right? But it reflects the fact that we're already taking a vacancy loss, and a cap is based on anticipation. One day they might find a user for it. So my requested numbers just altered a fair bit. Just doesn't matter what NOI. Say if I use my NOI 41,961 at at 6.5% makes 645,553, 645,553, which is rounded to 646,000. Kind of reflects the background on this. This was built as a warehouse 1, And then when Warehouse One closed shop and I think they had a reorganization and they went to real better places because of course the parking sucked. It went vacant for a bit, and then my accountant bought it, and I assisted her on it when she bought it as an appraiser, advisor, and we tried to help her find tenants for it, as well as with Mike when he took over. Not a lot of interest, and just because of the parking issue. So we would request 646,000. Our NOI at 6.5%. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Spacek, any questions?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Whitbread, any questions?
I have none, thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Marks, do you have any questions?
And I have no questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, okay, I don't have any questions either. Thank you very much. So we will make our determination, and we've now heard all matters on the docket today. So unless either Mr. Neufeld or Mr. Spacek would like to make a summation, which I'll allow you to do, I will otherwise close this hearing.
I have no need. Thank you.
I just had one thing to say. I've just finished 3 hearings with assessors who, in my opinion, had a very unfocused attitude on the way that business should be conducted. And I congratulate the assessor today for working on these in a very business-like manner. Thank you.
And I'll say that I congratulate both of you because you must have worked together to get an 8-item list shortened to only 2 items and really only 1 to make a decision on. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I've got a flight tonight, and so I want to hurry up to get to the lounge.
That's maybe why you cooperated so much, Mr. Neufeld.
Now you know the secret.
Okay, thank you very much. We've now heard all items on the agenda today, and we'll close this hearing.
See you all later. Bye.
Thank you.
That's all. Have a good day.
Bye.